I could do that too if I had those tools. We say it as a joke these days, but it comes from the fact that people used to say that all the time. You and I both know it's not really true. Just because you have really good quality tools doesn't mean you're magically going to become a really good woodworker. With that in mind, here is a selection of shop tours from the community that when I watch them, I kind of categorize them as sort of elite in a sense, either because they have a generous amount of space, a super nice setup, or just really high quality tools in their collection. And honestly, these would make any woodworker envious. So I think you're really going to enjoy some of this eye candy. Let's get to it.
Hello, Wood Whisperer Guild family. My name's Eric. I'm blessed to take care of babies and also work in my shop. This is Southern Utah. It's in my basement. Get to make lots of different things that bring joy to folks. So we start here behind this wall with the cyclone separator, 5 horsepower. Has a 10-inch inlet there, steps up and then gradually steps down, factoring in appropriate velocities based on volume of air and need for bringing dust that starts at the source and doesn't end up inside my lung. Got the 5 horsepower saw stop. This is saw 2.0, started with the Jet 10 years ago and was able to move that on to a good friend of mine and I was blessed with this upgrade. Fully movable, everything in the shop is able to be moved. One of my favorite tools is this bad boy here, 5 horsepower, 12-inch helical head Laguna. Monstrous amounts of air to clear the chips and the shavings, and have yet to have wood that's given this thing any reason to sweat, including up to almost 12-inch hard pecan that we recently used to make a table and a crib for my grandbaby. I have this Grizzly 15-inch helical head, and that's worked well. Would love to have a slightly bigger one, but this one has done all the things we needed to do. Have this 5 horsepower, 25-inch double barrel shotgun type sander, and that's also worked beautifully. A little finicky with setting the drums, but once you get that dialed in, it works really well. And on this side, I have the disc sander, which I've found to be hugely useful to be able to refine parts. And then the oscillating belt sander, also hugely useful for refining parts and have a variety of different belt options down here in the bottom compartment. My outfeed table, inspiration that I found online, and also movable, have a melamine on the top, have gone through a couple different iterations with a clamping platform and ended up just using a sheet of melamine with great success. There's the altar to all things woodpeckers. It's one of my clamp storage solutions here, hanging them on the wall. And then this should look familiar to the Wood Whisperer family. Get lots of use out of this. Use both the cyclone separator collecting here as well as using the fest tool, and still don't feel like it's awesome in terms of dust collection, but better than most, I suppose. Have this Jet 18-inch quick tension release. This is one tool that I'd like to upgrade, or even better, keep this and then get one for larger resaw capacity. It's more about the 1 3/4 horsepower motor. Even with the Laguna blade on there, it struggled when we were cutting some of that pecan and working with Purple Heart. And then I've got a little jigsaw guy, hand tool, work that's done over here, and I've got all my hand tool stuff that I showed at the start of the video there for hand cut dovetails and those sorts of things, and then some of my different clamp storage solutions, taking advantage of this dead space just hanging off, and this actually worked really well. They always end up back up there, and folks know where to go to get the clamps. My favorite thing is the hard wired and hard plumbed in dust collector, getting rid of the dust. I've tried all the different solutions and it's totally worth the dollars in upgrade to do it right and have peace of mind with collecting the dust. Thanks for your interest. If you have any questions about the care of babies or making things out of wood, give me a call. Thanks.
Hey everybody, my name is Scott. I live in Middle Tennessee, just north of Nashville. I'll take you on a tour of my shop. All right, here's the interior of the shop. It's about as clean as it ever is. You do one quick pass through. It's a 36 by 40 by 14 foot ceilings in this room, about 8 inches of open cell foam insulation on the ceiling and behind the walls, just drywalled. And I've got some hickory French cleats that go around the perimeter, allows me to hang cabinets and fixtures and jigs and things like that. Twin 18 kBTU mini splits, they're inverting, so I've got heat in the winter if I need it, and I got some cool air in the summertime. Don't often use it. The building stays probably 20 degrees, 30 degrees cooler than ambient, holds the temperature inside pretty well. There's a dehumidifier in the corner. That thing probably runs the most in the Tennessee humidity. All right, part storage. Got some storage for battery operated tools, Delta drill press, drill station. Again, I'm very, it's about as organized as I get. Oliver 8-inch joiner, helical head, Powermatic PM66 Excalibur overarm guard, my Frankenstein router table. It's got a Hitachi M12V inside, 3.5 horse. Does a good job with the Delta power feeder on top for time I'm running a lot of stock. This module over here, a Jet 2244. Larger Rikon saw, I think it's a 19 for resawing and a Jet 14 for doing any type of small work. And behind that is a Powermatic PM15HH with a helical head. Lots of Nordfab, quick connect ducting, keeps the heavy stuff down. Wood storage everywhere. Hand tools generally sit over here. Normal collection of hardly used hand tools. Lots of storage over here for sanding and parts and other stuff that fit within the miter station. So 12-inch miter saw, 12-inch radial arm saw. There's a laser engraver and a 4x4 CNC with a 3 horsepower spindle. So I like to incorporate a little bit of that into almost all the stuff that I do. Clamps, clamp station, finishes. I don't have a finishing room. That's probably next on the list. I'll probably go back into this room over here someday. Lots of storage, a little bit of gardening, lots of lumber storage. So keep most of my domestic hardwoods, everything that's not been finished stays out here. And when I start to do, 1 or 2 sides or 3 sides good, I'll bring it and let it acclimate in the shop for a couple of days before I work on anything. A couple of big ass fans, 6-inch or 72-inch DC fans, move a lot of air. Part of the reason I just don't have to do much to heat and cool the shop. It stays very comfortable out here in the wintertime. That's it. That's my shop. Thanks for visiting. Appreciate it, guys.
Now, if you want to wipe the drool off your mouth there, I want to take a minute to tell you about a great new course we have in the Wood Whisperer Guild featuring one of my favorite people in the world, Christopher Schwarz.
I'm Christopher Schwarz, and I am a professional furniture maker and the publisher at Blostart Press. And I want to teach you how to make a stick chair with just regular bench tools. That means no steam bending, no steam box, no shave horse, just regular tools like bandsaws and cordless drills, and the best part, just wood and dowels from your lumber yard. You can find out more details at thewoodwhispererguild.com.
Hey all, this is Mike Gervais from Salt Lake City. I'll give you a quick tour of my shop. We've got a planer and joiner, helical heads, 8-inch, 15-inch. Got the electronic variable speed drill press. Got the panel router, good machine. I like it a great deal. 6x89 oscillating belt sander, Harvey C14 Ambassador. I like both those machines a lot. The Harvey is their entry-level machine, but it's got a 3-horse, 220-volt motor. It'll easily tension up and drive a 1-inch carbide-tipped blade. 16x32 belt sander, sharpening setup that I'll come back to. Jet 3-horse dust collection system. 6-inch pipe. I've got 3 drops on it. We've got a drop back here into my work area that allows me to clean things up very easily and conveniently. Another drop comes over here, dedicated one for the table saw / router table. And this final one that I leave stuck on the door to keep it out of the way gets switched to these 5 machines over here. Works well enough for me. In a 20x20 shop, we have to make compromises, but I've got good, strong dust collection to all of my machines. Here's my saw stop, 3 horsepower professional model with the woodpecker's rip flip on it. I'm not a woodpecker's guy, but this rip flip is a pretty nice thing to have stuck on your table saw for the amount they charge for it. I've got the Jessam lift on the table saw wing over here with the 3.25 horse Porter cable motor in it. It works well. There's a cabinet I made to store all my router bits and everything. My table saw blade storage in there. Little wall cabinet with my drills, pin nailer, hearing protection, lots of books. You need a lot of books. Keep your passion fueled. Here's my workbench. Bench-crafted hardware. Tail vise is just a game changer. I love having a tail vise. Leg vise with a cool Bubinga maple chop I made. I've got the swing out seat on there. I might use someday, I hope. Here's my tool cabinet. This is unique. I want to spend a minute on this. So this has barn door hardware. I've got 201 tools stored in this thing with room for a lot more. And that doesn't count anything that is in this section right here. That doesn't count any of those 200 drill bits or whatever. I love this cabinet because it's mounted above my workbench. I can reach everything quickly and easily without moving other tools. These outer wings are the full 9 inches deep. So I've got a lot of stuff in there, scrapers. This is all stuff that I tend to reach for most frequently, so it gets the most accessible storage. Lots of good bits in here. I do a lot of hand carving, sculptural kind of stuff, so these tools are all important to me. Good set of those Andrew Timmins chisels right there. Just more stuff. We like lots of stuff in our shops. It's half the fun. More hand planes, dividers, more saws, magnifier, good scrub planes, handy thing to have. There's a round bottom wooden plane I made just yesterday. Let's go over here to my sharpening setup real quick. I've got 4 machines mounted on here. This is the most used one. This is a low-speed power strop with a cork belt. Charge that up. I've got a flat, hard surface on that belt. I can strop any edge razor sharp without apex in it. I keep that micro bevel flat, and that makes a really sharp tool. 1x42 belt sander. This thing pivots around. Low-speed grinder with CBN wheels on it, 350 and 180 grit. Here are a bunch. When I'm using my carving tools, I keep them razor sharp on these custom contoured 5-inch leather wheels. We have stones here as well because we never put a power tool on the back edge of our blade. That's it. Thanks for looking.
Hey Mark, I'll try and do a shop tour. I've never done one before and it's not overly impressive. But I'm Bob in South Carolina. The shop, like anybody else's, is still under construction. So I'm gonna flip the video around, you can see what's in the shop. So this is out in the garage. The shop runs the full length of the garage on the other side of that wall. So it's kind of 3 bays wide or long. It's definitely not deep enough. These are all cabinets I built first, and my plywood storage is up against the wall over there. That turned out to be pretty useful. All this oak, except for the panels, came off the property. Kind of my first attempt at getting a sawyer and doing that kind of stuff. So you step up like a foot to get into the workshop. It's got nice, the leftover hardwood floors from the house. All the dust collections underneath. Here's the workbench. It's got limitations because it's against the wall and not both sides are freestanding. But I needed an area where I could sit down and fix stuff that breaks all the time with the house. And so I did that. The wood, all the big legs and all came off the property. And the top, actually, I had a big Booz Brother island in the house. It's like 2.5, 2 3/4 inches thick that started to peel, and they sent me a new one. And so I said, great, I'll save that for my workbench. And I cut it up into pieces, and it's naturally a great workbench. So I didn't have to build the top. I just had to cut the mortises for the legs. I haven't even cut any dog holes. I don't have a tail vise, and I kind of limited because of the right-hand side going up to a room above the garage. Old DJ-20, one of my first tools that I ever bought. Saw stop was kind of an upgrade. The jet planer was a nice upgrade. The Minimax, a new upgrade. So I've been able to upgrade some of my tools one by one over the last 10 years. Here's the rest of the stuff. Probably the thing that's a little bit interesting, if you just, people go, what's different? Everybody's seen cabinets. The diamond draft table worked out pretty well. You could see there. That turned out to work pretty well. It's my Norm Abram Ultimate router table that a lot of people have made. The miter stand, it's got the Bosch Glide. Dust collection from underneath that works pretty well. I built the box and kind of, hoped I could, build these wings that could cover everything and keep all the dust behind it. But in actuality, I never use them. I keep them open all the time. This, as far as storage things that worked out, this worked out pretty well for, what do you do with this dovetail jig? So now I kind of got one place for it. It kind of hangs in there. Like everybody else, I got, except I have mostly cheap pipe clamps hanging on the wall. One mini split works great in here. I've got the Delta guy up there that's run by a switch. I got a lot of sound that nothing's hooked to, and being a double E, I got plenty of Ethernet and wiring for TV and all that stuff, and I don't use any of it. And then I'll just show you one last thing. Go down to the basement because you can see where the dust collection is. This lets me put wood storage down here. I kind of built this big area to store wood. That big wood miser, a guy that was built furniture, just was ready to not get rid of, but sold pretty good price because it was just too slow for him, but it's been great. And I had it up in the workshop for a long time, and I couldn't even move. And then I moved it down here. It's been great. But you can see how narrow the shop is, I guess. There's the clear view, and a little bit more wood storage there and there. And we're under 5 minutes. So thanks.
So there you go. Quick thank you to everybody who submitted a video. Thank you for sharing your shop space with us. And hopefully you guys agree with me that it's not the tools that make the shop, it's really what you do with them that matters. And you could use even the most modest tools and make great furniture. But it's still fun to see the guys who've just got it all, right? And just a beautiful setup. So thanks everybody who submitted. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.